All right, so what I'm going to make is a dish that I just discovered this time. You might call it a curry because that's what it is. And you can have it with rice, which is the way they would eat it, but you can also have it on toast if you're just having a light dinner, you don't want to eat too much. You keep the sauce sort of thick and have it on toast, which is also very good. There are many ways you can eat it. So to make it, the first thing you do is, I don't know how many of you do this, but I always wipe my mushrooms with a damp cloth. So you do that. And then you take all of the mushrooms, and depending on size, like this is rather a big one, so I will cut it into 4. And same with this one. Cut this into 4. And when they're smaller, you can cut them into halves. All right. So now the next thing you do is that you have to toss these with some salt and some turmeric and leave it for a little while. So I have about a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of turmeric. Now you have to really rub it in. And I do this first because I'm an Indian and I'm used to doing this. But if you do it if you can. Then, now what will happen here is that it will get on your nails. If you have nail polish, clear nail polish, which I always do, they turn yellow. So even if you don't have anything, your hands will turn yellow. So that's the nature of turmeric. That's why it's been such a great dye for such a long time. I will put on some gloves, and you really need to rub it in. You don't have to do this. No Indian does this. The Indians would consider this highly stupid. But okay. Rub it in properly on all the mushrooms. So when you've done a thorough job, more thorough than this, you leave them aside for 10 minutes and a little bit of water. They'll get a little wet. Meanwhile, you have a can. I'm not asking you to squeeze coconut milk fresh. I'm just going with the flow here and just using good canned coconut milk. If you let it sit, then the thick cream comes to the top. So you take the thick cream off the top till you reach the watery half underneath. You're going to cook with the watery half, which is what all Indians would do. All right. So we have the cream here and the rest of it here. Now I'm going to start cooking. I'm making it a little hotter, I think. All right, I'm going to put the shallots. That's about 6 tablespoons of very nicely done. Thank you. Shallots. And I'm going to cook them till they are a little browned, which takes about 2 minutes. Okay, so this is more or less done. So what I'm going to do now is take it off heat because I don't want any of these spices to burn. And I'm going to put in some coriander and some chili powder. And I will stir it in on a lower heat. You can smell it, the coriander. Out of all the spices, when you talk about the expiration of spices, of all the spices, coriander ground is the first to go. I'm going to take it off the heat for a bit because I don't want it to burn. And I'm going to put some. Now, is this 1, 2, 3 chilies? 2. With chilies, you don't know how hot they are. It's always a problem. Even I don't know how hot they're going to be. So what you do is you take one from the middle somewhere, vaguely tasted. Hot. Okay. So I know it's hot. And so then I'm not going to use all of it. It depends on how hot you want your food. But the green or red chili, the fresh one, is sort of essential. So I'm just not going to put that much. I'm going to put this much. Okay. I'll stir this around.
Can you add more later?
You can add more chili powder later, and you can even put finely chopped green chili towards the end. But to get the flavor really into the mushrooms, you would need to put it, but I have put the other chili powder too. So it's going to have some heat, but the wonderful taste of the fresh chilies, you need to put it in now. Okay, now all the mushrooms will go in, and they're liquid. These have been marinated. So I'll stir these. There's a little liquid here, so I can turn the heat up and stir it around. My heat directions, try and follow them, because it really helps to get the right taste for the dish. So basically, you see, there's not too many spices in here. I will stir this on high heat, as high as I can get it, for a few minutes. Okay, so now we've got to this wonderful point. Now I'm going to put in the thin coconut milk. Perhaps I put too much. I should have put only 3/4 of a cup, but never mind. More sauce for us. And then I will bring it to the boil and let it simmer for 10 minutes, and there'll be a lot of room for questions then. Okay, so we are pretty much going to, since this is not what we are going to eat, we'll eat what has been cooked earlier. The next thing I'm going to do, after this is cooked for 10 minutes, I'm going to put in, and this will boil down a little bit, this liquid, and then you add the thick one that you saved, and just let it come to a boil and turn it off. And
What
then
did you
I added the heavy cream,
add?
and I put in too much liquid, but you won't do that because you'll measure. I didn't. And then when this has come to the boil, turn it off and put some lime juice in the top. Now, in Coorg, they don't use lime juice. They have a vinegar which they make. It comes from a wild fruit, and it's a very strong syrupy kind of vinegar, and they put just a drop of that at the very end. And I was given this vinegar, actually. It was wrapped, triple wrapped, and I brought it all the way home, but I didn't test with it because I know none of you can get it. So I thought I'd just try it with lemon juice. So you put a tablespoon of lime juice, or as much as you like at the end. So this one is done, and this one is, I'm going to heat it. So this has the full amount of chilies.
Yes.
You could decorate it with these pretty little things here, or you needn't. There we go. This is the mushrooms in the Kodava style.